Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
There we go. Just a little hi to everybody behind the logo. I'll figure that out in a minute. Wednesday night. Welcome, RVing in New England.
Wednesday night live, as we always are.
That's right.
Let's thank our audience first, because they could be sitting in a cooler somewhere. They could be sitting in a cold hot tub somewhere or in a shower somewhere, but they are watching us and they know we have a great show tonight. And the reason we have a great show tonight is because of great sponsors like Seacoast.
Hey, it's Joe from 1019 POR and John, Joe, and Courtney. We're back for another exciting season of Seacoast RV TV. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter W. As in Winnebago. Did you know that Seacoast RV is once again the award winner of the Flying W Award, which recognizes Winnebago dealer locations that deliver the highest service excellence and superior customer satisfaction? Don't mean to brag, but we're kind of a big deal. Speaking of Winnebagos, how about the Winnebago Access? Come on inside and take a look around. Modern and spacious interior, easier camp setup with all the deluxe features and an outstanding value? You get it all with the Winnebago Access. You know, with so many different models to choose from, though, it can get so scary and confusing. I feel like I need some help.
Hi, I'm Amanda. Welcome to Seacoast RV. How can I help you today?
Selection, service center, and a huge parts and accessory department. No wonder Seacoast RV is once again Winnebago's Flying W Award winner, their highest honor. Find the perfect RV or towable for you and your family with one stop, Seacoast RV. Easy to find, Route 1 in Saco.
Seacoast RV.
I'm Jackson.
Always nice to deal with a creative company.
Well, speaking of creative companies, we have one of the best in the business on with us tonight. But safety, one thing before you do that, you should have a safety alert. If with the temperatures, humidity, and the high incidence of heat exhaustion up there, if you've got an RV in your yard and you're not going camping this weekend, and it's really bad, and you got an elderly person down the street that may not have air conditioning, you might think about inviting them up to stay there and watch over them and check on your neighbors. And if you're in the campgrounds, same thing goes there. Be careful out there. Enjoy your weekend of camping. All right, John, I stepped on you. What do you want?
This public service has been brought to you by RVing in New England. Always there to help our fellow campers. When we had our guest on the first time back in 2018 or 19, something like that. We had to, as my friends down south would say, we had to splain what Harvest Toast is. Now we don't have to splain what it is anymore, because we saw the chatter after you put your summary up today, your preview, your teaser. We had people from all over the place telling us, I'm going to apply for the job. Walter Swenson even posted something and said, watch the show if you want, but don't bother applying because he's already got the job.
You bring up a good point. I wasn't surprised. I even put it on my personal account. I had people from the imaging industry that I haven't talked to for 5 to 10 years send me notes and saying, how do I apply? That sounds like the perfect job. I want to do something like that. And we got a big audience, bigger than normal right out the gate. So what do we got?
Why don't we do this? Because I got a question. If we bring up Joel and say welcome, and then I got a question for him.
So you want to bring up Joel now?
Yeah, bring up Joel.
Well, why don't you give us? He deserves more than just John saying.
Bring up Joel. Okay.
Give us a good radio introduction. Make it worth his while.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same fake voice that gave you that PSA about helping out your neighbor. But this is a real announcer's voice that says we are so pleased to be bringing to the stage tonight live, not via videotape or satellite or anything like that, but live directly from, I believe, Colorado, our friend who is the brainchild behind the growth of Harvest Toast. And let's in unison give a wild round of applause to Mr. Joel Holland. Joel, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Is that the best intro you've ever had, Joel?
I'm gushing. I'm blushing and gushing. It's fantastic. Thank you so much.
So before we go into our topic tonight, and there's so many topics.
We never have a topic.
Okay. I have heard of a CEO. I've heard of a COO. I've heard of a CFO. I've heard of a CMO. And now you, Joel Holland, come up with a CRO.
Chief Retirement Officer.
Explain that to us.
Yeah. Well, we thought, there's a lot of C titles and a lot of them aren't that fun. Why don't we create one that's an absolute blast? And I can't take credit for the idea. My team's very, very creative. We had this concept of hiring someone to retire, basically like, hey, let's put this out there and pay for someone to go travel the country. And one of our team members said, hey, this is basically a chief retirement officer. This is great. They're going to have a seat at the table, right? We're going to invite them to our company all hands meetings every quarter, just like an executive, to give updates on what they're doing on the road, so that the rest of us who are working stiffs can get a little inspiration and motivation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe a little bit of the job description? I know we have it.
I do. Before I describe it, though, I was reading through the comments, and I'm really excited. Tonight's going to be a ton of fun because there looks like a lot of really friendly faces on here. Two of the comments are my favorite from the same person. Don Pat Hawes. I might be mispronouncing the last name.
No, it's Don and his wife's name is Pat. But
okay, so Don and Pat, they said Harvest Toast is the absolute best RV membership to have. So I already love them. And then they had one of the funniest comments. Thank God it's not snowing. Can you imagine shoveling snow in this heat?
Well, great. In Park City, Utah, it was supposed to be. I mean, they had a frost warning and a possible snow warning just a couple nights ago, where one of my college friends lives out there, and then one of my other college friends right here in nearby Connecticut said, "You got snow and we got 100 degrees." So
it's weird. I'm in Vail. It was below freezing last night. I'm actually wearing this because it's so cold. And my house is like 50 degrees right now. So it's weird. We have weird weather in this country. It's a crazy place.
For sure.
That's pretty good. So I did.
Step in. I'm tired of carrying the show. Go ahead. Step in.
Give us one or two of these qualifications that you really like, Joel.
Totally. So, look, we want
all of them.
We want all of them, but basically we're looking for a friendly face, right? A friendly face or a couple of faces. It could be a husband-wife team. It could be a solo RVer, but someone who's got good interpersonal skills and can get out there and really connect with Americans, right? Because that's
I got to stop you there. So it can be two people.
Yeah, sure. You could definitely.
When case is closed, it'll be John and I.
Perfect.
And our wives will just say, "We'll see you in a year."
That's right. That's absolutely right.
You don't think we could pull that off, Demetro?
My wife would even drive the RV to the gas station and fill up the truck
to see how fast you can get out.
Make sure I had my speed pass so I didn't have to come back.
Yeah, and so the second qualification makes sense. Aspirations to basically hit the road and see the country. We want whoever becomes our chief retirement officer to try to travel as much as they can. Right, my wife and I hit the lower 48 over 2 years. It was awesome. You don't need to be that ambitious, but we want you to get side to side, up and down. There's a lot to see in the country, and we have Harvest Host locations in every state. Right, over 5,000 of them.
They get to pick any of those 5,228 anywhere. They get to pick and choose.
That's right. Yeah, and this is a nice thing about an executive level position. You've got autonomy. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to be really selective in who we hire for the job. But it's just like running a company. Hire great people and then let them run with it. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to find the right person. We're going to give them the Harvest Toast fifth wheel, the Grand Design Solitude. It's fully wrapped. It is now like fully cleaned and prepped. It's got new tires, a new roof, new everything. It's clean and ready to go. And you get to take this thing on the road.
All right, let's do this because we've got a crazy crowd tonight. Let's run down just so we see who is here and what questions. So
Okay.
we already said Don.
I had one thought, Bob. We'll go through
This
these.
is a new one. I have no idea who Small Town Discovery is, but they're in Central Mass. All right, Walter says evening all from Central Steamy Mass. All right, we got the hint that it's hot up there, guys. Ryan Newell, that's a new one, I think. Bob Taylor from New Hampshire. Bob is actually going to be on within the next month. Bob was at the show with us last year. He's joining NERVDA as an associate member. He makes a collapsible, retractable trailer that folds up and puts in your motorhome or your fifth wheel. And then when you're running around with stuff, you can put stuff in it. So we're going to get him. I'm not going to try to do his job for him, but thanks for joining in, Bob. And we will get you on here soon. Charlie Butler, upstate New York. Yeah. And that's the other one. Okay. And the queen of country campgrounds, Sandy Ellingson. Hello, everyone from Fortson, Georgia.
Sandy and I had a nice catch up today. She's got her fingers in everything in the industry as always.
Oh, she knows everybody and everything. I'm like you. I have to call her at least once a quarter to figure out what the hell's going on in this industry. So, Valerie Taylor from Austin, Texas. Some would say it's the music capital of the world, but it's really Nashville. And Maria's with us tonight.
Where she is, though.
Ante. Jason Cole. Jason wants to bump out Walter. Jason wants the job, but he wants to bump out Walter. Thundering Hubbardson. Sandy says, hooray for Harris Host. I already closed the deal. That job is for me. See, she just pushes herself to the front of the crowd and says, Give me the keys and I will leave now. Dante's willing to arm wrestle somebody.
I've never seen this creativity come.
I know.
Our audience here.
Don says
the absolute best
RV membership, after no question. Mass Good Sam. I assume that is Joe because Rhonda has her own thing. So hey, Joe. And Joe, be safe out there. You know, Joe does all this great landscaping stuff, the walks and the driveways and the steps, and he does it in the sun. So, Joe, you better make sure you got a lot of extra water on the truck.
Joe, work at night this week.
Yeah, there you go. Walter Swenson, I am not retired, so not for the job for me at this time.
But Walter,
I would disagree with you, Walter, because you already work virtual for your company. So whether you do it in Vail, Colorado or Florida, you believe you don't underwork on anything. You don't underdeliver on anything. If you had the job, you'd find a way to do all those jobs.
There's Sandy directing the show. Yes, bring up Joel now.
Sandy's directing us.
Our associate producer is Sandy Ellingson.
Hey, Jason Cole, Wednesday night special. Maria loves everything. Jason, woo, and Walter. Uncle Bernie. Hey, Joel, welcome to RVing in New England. There's our alternate host and our fill-in host. And Jason, wish I was a little older. No, you don't. Jason, believe me, you don't want to do that. Enjoy every minute that you got. Oh, no. Brian is one of my imaging friends up on in the Buffalo area there. And he's ready to do retirement the right way on the road, and age is not an object. All right, Brian, go to the Harvest Host website, and the application is there.
Joel, will you consider nepotism or graft, corruption, payoffs, or any of the other stuff that they do in Washington?
Oh, of course. Let's fill the swamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's fill the swamp. Okay.
Ryan Newell, okay. Maria, here she is. Audrey, hey, late to the party. But this
Go back to Ryan Newhall.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Joel, you want to read that?
Yeah, Harvest Host is amazing. I was able to travel the country for a month during COVID while homeschooling. Um, he learned so much from the different farms, museums, and small businesses. That's great. I have two young kids, and it's a great educational opportunity. We took them to an underground decommissioned nuclear missile silo through on our way through Kansas a couple weeks ago, and my daughter basically learned what a missile was and that we, had a Cold War. Right? What a neat way to teach firsthand.
And I was a frontline person in the Cold War. I'm that mature. There's your lovely family that travels with you, and Joel is one of those people that we always talk about. He has a tremendous work-life balance, as everybody should.
How old are they now, Joel?
They're 3.5 and almost 1.
Oh,
and so the almost 1-year-old, is in that squirmy phase, not quite walking, still doing naps. And so this was the reason we got that Brinkley Z3610.
Oh, you got the Brink. Oh, you got the Model Z.
I got the Z, the Zagami. Yep.
Okay,
there you go. I'm glad.
Did they finally put it in the literature?
Yeah, it's actually on the unit. It says the Zagami 3610. So they spelled it out, which is wonderful.
Walter's got a new job description for you. Does that kind of fit what you're looking for, Joel?
Self-directed marketing, social media, and head fund finder. I love that. That's great. It's great. That's a perfect description for the role.
Can he use that, Walter, or are you going to charge him for the rights to it? This would totally be my dream job. I don't agree with you, Audrey. You're so detailed. You'd be making it too much work. You got to just fling it out, turn the key in the morning, drive and see where the hell you go. You got your whole life planned for the summer. Every trip, every minute, every restaurant, every campground. I don't know. If I was running HR, Audrey, I don't think you'd get it. Don, we have been members since 2015. Well worth the investment. No question.
Thank you.
Now, here's a man that would have fun doing it because he could take his woodworking shop with him. He actually has a fifth wheel, a DRV fifth wheel, and he's he's a, what do they call it? Auto body specialist. He's got a phenomenal auto body shop up here. You could eat breakfast off the floor, but he does these great woodworking things. So when he's in the campground, he sets up his whole woodworking shop and, makes lazy Susans for people and signs for people. And he's a very talented guy.
Yeah. Where are you, Zagami? Where are you getting this stuff from? I don't, you jumping all over the place?
Oh, I'm going down. There's so many. I'm going down. We started traveling Harvest several years ago. Fantastic program. All right, Don. Okay, I'm gonna skip and get back to the real world here. Joel, we got several pictures of different sites, and there was another, besides the qualifications, there was something else, the responsibilities.
Yep.
What do you like there?
I think these are pretty self-explanatory, but the reality is we want someone to paint the picture of what a good retirement on the road looks like. Go out there and then help us figure it out. So we're saying, go find the best early bird dinner specials, the best rest stops. These days there are a lot of places you can stay. Harvest Host, campgrounds, national parks, state parks. It's all fair game. We just want to know the tips and tricks, right? I think as RVers, we're always looking for the hacks. How do we make this better? And so I think a big responsibility of the chief retirement officer is to provide us with the tips and tricks to make our lives easier once we're all ready to retire.
Okay. So Joel, with Harvest Host, you got 5,200 places. Are you going to give this person the RV and say, spend one night at each of these places and come back in 14 and a half years?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We do it before. Yeah, that's right. It's a weird window because you're going to retire, but you have to see all of them before you die. And so you really got to stay active.
We're going to have to bump down that retirement age to about 40. Because it's going to take 14 years to do it.
And I know you're very thorough, Joel, but as I listen to what we've already talked about here, this almost sounds like there should be a book at the end of this, either a book or a video journal that would kind of be like my life, my 1 year life with Harvest Host or something. I'm sure you can come up with a creative title.
Well, and I think part of this that you're hinting at is real, which is, we want this person or couple to be shooting a bunch of content, right? A lot of photos, journaling, and then feeding that information to our social media and marketing team so that they can do exactly that. Create blog posts about trip itineraries, right? Really, like you'll remember we did the Ale Blazers a couple of years ago, and we hired that couple to go hit breweries, and it was awesome, and they were fantastic. And we created all this great content out of that, like itineraries that you could follow as a Harvest Host member. This would be the same thing, but not restricted to breweries. This is everything, right? Hit the museums, hit the the food circuit. Like, come up with something creative. We're not going to hold the hand here. We've got these 5,000 really cool locations, and I'm excited to see what kind of hidden gems pop out of them, because honestly, I can't see them all in my lifetime, right? Well, like it's just not going to happen. So help me.
I think the hardest part of this job is finding the proper person. And I think you may have to, if you want to get your full promotional value from it, may have to have 3 of these people. One gets the RV, the others, get the title or give them the membership or whatever. But it's almost impossible to do half of these units, et cetera. And the key thing is you got to find somebody who is able to step up to a microphone or able to put that camera out and just snap away if it's stills or videos or whatever. And you've got a pretty crack social media team to put this out there. And I think so many Harvest Host people find out about the next place that they're going to based upon what they read somebody else went to. It might not even be research on their own, but they said, hey, wait a minute, so-and-so went to so-and-so. Right. We should go there too.
That's right. I mean, on my last trip, I actually went to Harvest Host locations based on member suggestions from the Harvest Host I was at that night. So we would be sitting around chatting, and they'd say, here's where we think you should go, and then we'd go. So it's that word of mouth thing's pretty cool.
Now, when you go to these places, is your new unit wrapped?
No, it's not. So I'm incognito.
Oh, you're in.
Yeah.
You're doing that thing about the hidden. What was that show that Jim Rogers?
Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss. So do you tell them that you own the company?
I do eventually, because I want to ask them, how is it going? What's it like? But when I do the booking process, right, there's no preferential treatment. I book just like anybody else. And then I show up like anybody else. And so that's kind of cool, right? I mean, and the neat thing I can say, I've shown up many times in the Harvest Host wrapped rig. Now I've shown up in a incognito rig and always treated really well. So now I know it's not just because I was CEO.
Wow.
We talked about this before. The Brinkley is so beautiful, you almost feel bad putting a wrap around it.
No, it's true. I'm not going to wrap it, actually. I've decided, like, unless some company wants to offer and it has to be over 6 figures, I wouldn't wrap it. So it's gorgeous. I mean, the amount of comments and compliments we've gotten from people who come up, it's awesome. I mean, the first day I had it, the first place I took it was at Harvest Host underground missile silo in Kansas. And I pulled it up there, and there's 2 other members parked, one in the Airstream, and they're just staring at it. And I'm like, what do you think? They're like, we've never seen a spaceship land before.
Is that the toy hauler?
No, it's not the toy hauler. It's the one with the bunk room in it. So it's got the 4 slides. And that 3rd slide is an extra room, and that's where Trek sleeps. And so it made it so he could like nap in there while we're still playing in the rest of the rig.
Oh, okay. Hey, Bob, Walter Swenson put a term paper up there at 7:22. Let's go to see. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Why don't we see
what time? What time?
7:22. In the meantime, while Zagami tries to figure out what time.
I found the term paper.
There we go. Joel, go ahead.
All right. Hey there, retirement renegade. Picture this. You, as Harvest Host's Chief Retirement Officer, embarking on the ultimate quest to uncover the hidden gems of retirement bliss. From hunting down the juiciest early bird specials to scouting out nap-worthy oases with views that make your jaw drop faster than your dentures. Your job is all about capturing the essence of retirement cool. And hey, it's not just about kicking back and sipping brews at over 5,000 locations, breweries, farms, wineries, and that's all it comes out.
All right, now I'm going to take a wild-ass guess. He did that on ChatGPT. He's been playing around with that the last couple of shows. So, Am I right, Walter, or did it come out of your brain, or did it come out of Chat GPT? I'm curious.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, either way, Walter, I just want to let you know that the gifts that you give us, I use because here is the, I don't know if you can see it. Here's that Boyata program that you gave us to work the unit from. It's pretty cool. Hey, Bob, we're getting close to 7:30.
Yep. Let me just do these two. I think I'm reading your mind, and we'll get them on just before we do the break.
Yeah.
Valerie
Special surprise.
utilized Harvest Host 10 years ago. Fantastic program. I've recommended it to all new RVers I talk to, and Sandy comes along and says, "Okay, hire Valerie Taylor." Sandy wants her name in lights on RVing in New England, so she's got to make sure she's got that quick comment in there. Wrap my rig and Mark, and I will do the great HH race against the Taylors.
Well, you know what we could do? We put one in California and one in New England, and say the fastest one to hit the other coast.
Actually, we have a surprise, Joel. We didn't plan this, but John gets his ideas and happened to be talking to Mr. Dwayne Cyrus today, who is the national training manager for Winnebago Industry. Wayne, you look kind of great. The job is serving you well. You lost a little weight. You're smiling there, and Dwayne's the guy responsible for training all the Winnebago. Have you guys met before?
No,
I don't think so.
Meet you, Dwayne.
Hi, Joel. Nice to meet you.
But there's more to it than that. Dwayne, tell Joel and Bob what you and I were chatting about this afternoon, and then you happen to mention that you're going to be a guest.
Yeah, I'm going to be a guest next week with Alyssa on the Boondockers Fireside Chat. I met Will and Bree at an event in Nashville a couple of weeks ago, and we had a great time, chatted for quite a while, and they suggested that my wife and I join with Alyssa on the Fireside Chat. We are Boondockers welcome hosts, and we haven't talked about Boondockers
that's right.
at all.
That's right.
I had no idea this was going to be a job application or a job interview, obviously.
Oh, so no wonder you shaved and got all dressed up.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
that's really cool though. We love Winnebago, and Alyssa's amazing, and so you're going to have a great time. Our partnerships with the OEMs have been great. So thanks for jumping on that Fireside Chat. And to your point about Boondockers Welcome, we kind of now Harvest Host Boondockers Welcome, they're part and parcel, and so we don't call it out enough. And the reality is, when you add the two networks together, we now have over 10,000, or at least almost 10,000 locations, which is awesome. And I've been to some of the most beautiful Boondockers Welcome locations. I'll have to come visit you now.
Please do. You're welcome anytime. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you located?
We're in upstate New York near Saratoga. That's one of the attractions. We have a lot of folks that come by for concerts, and they'll spend a couple of days and go to SPAC, and so we've hosted here, and then we travel with Boondockers and Harvest Host as well. So we're members of both, and we've taken advantage of incredible locations and made incredible friends, lifelong friends, just from people that stop by. And it's great to hear their stories and to have a chat with them about their lifestyle and their adventures. And so that's one of the reasons we do it. It's just for the community and the camaraderie that you get by meeting people that show up, and we have the space and are able to host, and we just love doing it.
That's cool. Well, thanks for being a host. That's really special.
That sounded like a job interview to me. You may want to advance himself a little bit there, Joel.
Dwayne's way up there at Winnebago. He's only a couple steps away from the corner.
Yeah. You guys have known me for too long.
If you ever need any ins with Winnebago, you come up with any ideas, call us.
I'll be sure to pass them along.
And Dwayne will go right to Hugh or to Mike or any of those folks there. But Dwayne and I were just talking this afternoon, and he had mentioned, "Hey, I'm going to watch the show tonight," and then mentioned that he's going to be on the podcast. So I said,
awesome.
And if any of you guys are friendly fans are going to be up in Loudon this weekend, where are you going to be, Dwayne? I know you're going to be up there, but you're going to be in.
I'm just taking 2 Winnebago vans, and we're camping with a few buddies. And
okay. So So is it friendly or is it work related?
Oh yeah, no, it's just friendly for us this weekend.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
With not Travados. What are you going to be camping in?
I have a Travado demo, and then we own a Solus. So
Solus, okay.
Yeah.
With the roof that pops up.
Ours has the pop top, yes.
All right. Well, Dwayne, thanks for jumping on.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to see you. And
Nice to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Into our halftime commercial.
Take care,
Thanks,
everybody.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Dwayne's got that logo there. Good job, Dwayne.
Yeah, he does.
At the flying dove.
He's got them all.
Okay. This show is brought to you by. Let's try it again. There we go. This show is brought to you by Seacoast RV, and they are the #1 crop park model dealer in the country. They're the #1 elevation park model dealer in the country, and they sell that Travado that Dwayne has, and they also have a full line of Winnebago towables right now. So they have a great store, they have great service, they have propane that you don't need to, anyway, they fill it real easily.
Yeah, they can fill it. They can fill your cans or whatever the hell they call them, the jugs. Or they can fill them on the motorhomes themselves.
Yeah.
All right, Joel. Go ahead, John.
We should ask Joel if there's any other new things that he wants to talk about. You want to talk about it all about Camper's Card or Camp Scanner or anything, because those are kind of your new babies.
Yeah, so Camper's Card is now over 1,000 campgrounds that are participating in the program, and this is it's a discount program, just like Passport America or Good Sam, but we hand selected the campgrounds, and so I can attest they're all high quality, right? There were some requirements for being in the program, so these are great campgrounds, and they offer a meaningful discount, at least 10%, of your stay, up to 50%. So, if you're looking to save some money and know that you're staying at nice campgrounds, Camper's Card is your thing. You can go to the website, camperscard.com, and actually see the campgrounds in the program and see if there's some around you that you like. It's a very inexpensive program. It's like $39 a year. So give that a shot. And then Camp Scanner is doing great as well. This one's just kind of like slowly chugging along, basically helps you get sold out reservations in national and state parks, and we have like over 10,000 of them, and it works, right? I can attest. I always try it on the hardest days. So like Memorial Day weekend, I was able to get into Zion, Arches, Glacier, on and on. And these are campgrounds that sell out 6 months ahead, right? So because what happens is cancellations come up all the time, and unless you're on Reserve America or recreation.gov hitting refresh, you're never going to know. And so our system basically sets up a scan. It looks constantly, like every few seconds, and we do it in partnership with these companies, right? So we're not spamming their system. We actually have a partnership with them. And then we text you as soon as something opens up. We say, hey, Bob, John, something just opened up at Zion. Click here, get it. And we just send you straight to their booking system. So it's a great program, also inexpensive, and it works really well. And then on the Harvest Host front, we have really done a lot of work this year on the core product. And so you probably noticed a completely new website launched, a month or so ago. The app has been updated. Everything's faster. So the app is now twice as fast as it used to be. Photos load more quickly. You'll notice when you go to host pages, there are now different photo modules. So you can see parking photos, the food photos, like they're broken out by category. When you get down to parking information, there's now a whole bunch of information. We tell you whether it's a pull through, a back end. We'll tell you whether there's hookups. You can actually see photos of parking in that module. In reviews.
That's what you're talking about, Joel.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So if you click on 63 photos, if there are enough photos, then we've broken them out by category. And then when you go down to reviews are now tagged with the photos that went with the review. So the whole thing is to make it just better and easier to find hosts and book them. And actually, this is another exciting thing. So we now show host response times on the profiles. I'm excited to say that the average response time for a host when you make a request now is, and I just want to, it's basically under an hour. It's really, really fast. And this is, it's twice as good as it was last year.
Hey, Joel, two quick things here. And I think it's important to point out that Harvest Host is not a competitor to the campground, but it's really an adjunct to the whole camping experience, because you might not need a full service campground if you're going from point A to point B, and Harvest Host is in the middle. Would you talk about that? Because obviously the camper's card is proof that you're affiliated with campgrounds as well. So
Right.
please talk about that misconception.
Yeah, totally. And so I've said this from day one, that we're not competitors with campgrounds. I use campgrounds more than I use anything else, including Harvest Host. So on this 6-week trip that I just finished, almost every night was in a campground, right? I sprinkled Harvest Hosts in along the way, but for the most part, we're in campgrounds. And that's how all of our members use the program. They use Harvest Host a few times a year, and the rest of the time they're in campgrounds. So Harvest Host is really competing, and I've always said this too, with parking lots. I'm competing with rest stops. I'm competing with Walmart parking lots. No offense to Walmart. If you like parking under bright lights and like noise, that's awesome. But if you want to instead spend the night in a winery, like that's what I would do, right? So we've always said wineries over Walmarts, rosé over rest stops. So I hope the misconception goes away. And the reality is, if you have a campground near a Harvest Host location, your business goes up dramatically, because our members go from boondocking at a Harvest Host location to then going and needing hookups to refill their batteries, dump their tanks, get water in the system. So campgrounds do better when they're near Harvest Host locations. And then Camper's Card, exactly like you're saying, we're trying to basically put directly millions of dollars back into campgrounds by highlighting these programs to our members. So the whole ecosystem is super important, and we're just trying to grow the RVing pie. That's all we've ever tried to do.
I want to jump to some host sites, but before we do that, there's another block that you had as far as this chief retirement officer. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So, of course, you'll get a membership to go visit all 5,000 plus locations all over the country. You get the fully furnished branded fifth wheel, and it's the Grand Design Solitude. It's a lovely unit. We give you a daily stipend to cover food, gas, all the necessities, including buying stuff at the Harvest Host locations, and the chance to become a professional at doing nothing. And the final piece that I think is kind of cute and creative, when you apply for the job, you actually submit your letter of resignation. And so, get creative with it, but you're basically, you're resigning, right? You're resigning from your current whatever to retire. And so we want to see your best letter of resignation.
When I think my gut feeling is it may be more popular than you thought when you created this. So is there a time frame in your mind, or you're just going to let this process play out and look at all the resumes and the registrations and stuff that they fill out for you?
So we're going to let it play out until we find the right person or people. The Ale Blazer position we did a couple of years ago had over 1,000 applications. So that one really blew up, and we looked through every single one of them and ultimately chose the right couple to do it. Ideally we find the right person or couple before this travel season's over. I would love that. If we get someone in this rig in July or August so they could actually get out on the road, that would be my preference. So we're already looking through applications, and I hope we get some good ones.
So if one really jumps out at you, game over.
That's right.
Yeah. Let them go. So it's to their benefit to be quick. Let's look at a couple of these, because it is amazing when you look at, if we just take the Harvest Host, 5,228, the variety of things that you can do. And this is one great for all the RVers. You can go out to Indiana and stay right there at the RV Hall of Fame, and there's 298 photos on there. So if you haven't even seen what's inside the Hall of Fame, as you're looking through these the host locations, you get a very good education of what they have, and they get plenty of parking room out there to do that.
One that we stayed at a couple of years ago was up at the Cog Railway, Mount Washington Cog Railway.
Oh yeah.
And
we don't, we're going to have tough time convincing people. We don't practice this stuff. I'm so intuitive. I just had a funny feeling.
Let me tell you this. It was hot during the day, but it cools down at that place, and it is so quiet at Mount Washington that it's absolutely unbelievable. And the beauty of it is that you're first in line for the rides in the morning, and that is a really cool thing to do, regardless of where you're from in the country.
Yeah, here's one that I think both you and I have stayed at this one at different times. This is a great one in Baldwinsville, New York. Did you stay there?
No, I haven't been to that one.
Yeah, this is one you want to take the grandkids to. They got some animals and they got the farm store, but that is a great one also. This one is. Do you know where that is, John?
No. Where is that?
You've been there.
Oh yeah. That's in Hershey.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Right next to the hotel.
Yeah, right next to the hotel we
stayed at.
Antique Automobile Club of America.
Yeah, we've been in there. Yeah, because they had a media night there.
A cocktail reception.
Yep. I stayed at the Cog Railway. Yep. See, there you go, Joel.
This one's in Illinois. This one looks kind of attractive. It's out there in the middle of a field, but Air Classic Museum. You get a lot of air museums, and I like them. So I've actually been to Grissom, but seeing them going back to Indiana next week, I may just stop there again.
I'll tell you a funny story about hey, there's that speeder thing there, that flexible flyer. What's our friend down in Florida that used to be on the Today Show?
Andy Parr.
Yeah, Andy Parr had one of those. But one of the cool ones that we stayed at was a Buffalo Bill Museum that was right smack dab on the Mississippi River. We were heading out to Winnebago for the Grand National Rally, and we stopped there that night, right smack dab on the Mississippi River. And we were able to even plug into a couple of outlets that they had there. But what we didn't know is that they were having a bass fishing tournament the next morning. And if you know anything about bass fishing tournaments, they go out at first light, which means like 5:15 a.m. But in order to be ready to go out at 5:15 a.m. to get their boats in the water, they start showing up at 2:33 in the morning. So my wife and I are pretty well sound asleep, and I hear beep beep in the car, and all of a sudden there's all these taillights. The parking lot, we were surrounded by bass boats with people driving their boat down. What do you call it? The place where
the boat ramp.
The boat ramp, and when we got. I went out to see what's going on, and I thought of my friend Don Barone.
Yeah.
Who,
he might have been there.
ESPN.
He may have been there. Well, yeah. we didn't get to the Cowboys and Indians that you talked about, but we did. I did pull up one. This one sounds like interesting. You ever been there, Joel?
No, that looks awesome.
It's in like Casper, Wyoming. It's like going back in time.
Cool. I like that photo at the top right, like juxtaposition between the horse-drawn carriage and the RV.
in the motorhome.
That's great.
And alpaca farms you got several of them, but they're all over the country.
We went to the lavender farm up in Vermont, right on the line.
Oh yeah, there's some great lavender farms.
Where this one you looked out and you looked to the right, you saw Canada. If you looked to the left, you saw Vermont. If you looked to the right, you saw New Hampshire. Yeah, Vermont and New Hampshire, something like that. Or
a new category we have that's very popular: drive-in movie theaters.
Movies, yeah.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, we have over 30 of them now.
That is
amazing. And they're awesome. We stayed at one in Marion, Virginia, a couple weeks ago. What a delightful, nostalgic experience! They're perfect for RVs because they've got all the different levels of parking, and so they just had for members. You drive in, it's pull through, so there's no problems. You pull in, just get the perfect prime viewing spot. Put the chairs out. If it gets cool, go back in the unit, eat your popcorn, watch a movie. Amazing. Hey,
Bob, did you see our friend Willie Miller was here earlier?
No, but let's go back and see. So we were at 7:22. Let's see.
Maybe Willie wants to give everybody a Columbus. Willie, if you're still there, you want to give out some Columbus RVs to Harvest Toast people here? Joel, we might find you some corporate partners here, and they'll want to provide RVs for for your people. And just like Audrey, I went to Red Apple Farm. It's up in Phillipston, Audrey, if I remember.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Don says, Jules Rosanowski, and I have no idea what he's talking about, unless it's something related to Sandy. Saw 7 regulars on a trip to Washington this year, and they were all so happy with their choice. They are beautiful. Yeah. So
sure. Wow.
So Uncle Bernie says, I resemble John's remarks. Pick me. Ha. Ha. We are lifelong friends with a horse rescue that we stayed at Missing Peace Landing LLC. It was awesome. Interesting.
That's cool. We've been to a horse rescue as well. They're great.
Willie's at 727, Bob. 727. There we go. Willie was one of our guests a few weeks ago. Willie, no popcorn tonight. I had Cheetos last week, but the only problem is your hands get too dirty from the cheese stuff on those.
If you eat good popcorn, that doesn't happen.
Right. But I had Cheetos. I didn't have popcorn that particular.
Cheetos are in the same category as Chef Boyardee, John.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. You didn't recognize that.
What else I got here?
Don says Sandy Starr. Sandy said something about a book.
Hey, Joel, there are going to be people that view this show that might want to be hosts. Okay.
Hosts or chief retirement officers?
No, hosts. That the CRO, that's one thing. I'm sure he's going to be deluged with that. But there might be some other people that are watching this show that want to be hosts. I read some interesting. I read some interesting stats that you compiled about the average spend per night for these people, because I know for a fact that when we stay at wineries, my wife will buy more wine, and it will cost twice as much as if we had stayed in a campground.
But you get twice as much wine.
Well, twice as much wine. We had one person open up on a Sunday morning and give us a tour. We're somewhere out in Ohio. It was that same trip out to Winnebago. But we stayed Saturday night into Sunday, and he said, "Look, I'll give you a wine tasting on Sunday morning." So, but I'm sure you have some stats on that.
Totally. Yeah. So the stats are, it's very good for small businesses. The average member spends $50 per night. And that turns into, this year will be over $50 million that our members spend directly with our hosts. And we don't take any of that, right? There's no charge to be a host in the program, no application fee. We don't take any cut of the revenue. It's purely a free marketing opportunity is kind of what we call it. And on average, our hosts make about $15,000 to $20,000 extra revenue a year from our members. But depending on where you are, that number goes up quickly, right? If you're close to a highway or you're in a popular area, New England, whatnot, that number's 50,000. So it can be really meaningful revenue for small businesses from our RV members. But what's really heartwarming is that most of the hosts tell us when we ask them why do they enjoy the program, they say that they enjoy sharing their lifestyle with travelers first and foremost, and that's kind of cool, right? And then the revenue is obviously helpful with in an age of inflation and high costs. It's really helpful. And
that's what Dwayne said about the Boondockers Welcome. They enjoy it as much as the people who use that service.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and if you want to be a Boondockers Welcome host, you then get a free Boondockers Welcome membership. So that's the benefit. The main benefit is the social element, meeting great people, but you also get a free membership.
Right. You're a little bit late, and you forgot the rule that if you're going to come into the show late, you have to apologize. You have to apologize to our guests and the crew. So, Walter Swenson, the website is awesome. The update is great. It is. The new website is amazing. I don't know Paul Anderson. Are one of you guys having a side conversation with him, or is that Joel? Do you know Paul, or John? Are you going to see a Paul Anderson on Monday?
No, he's meeting somebody Monday. Maybe it's Dwayne.
That's possible.
Yeah. Dwayne was having a side conversation with Bernie. I don't know if you noticed.
I saw that. Yeah, he said Bernie says, "Hi, Bernie. Will you be at the track this weekend?"
You guys ever do this as a snack?
Joel, what do you got?
Extra large Virginia peanuts
Oh, wait a minute. Let me just blow that up a little bit.
It's like your straight from Costco, of course, but Virginia peanuts are huge. They don't make your fingers messy, John. So you can kind of get like a little salty snack without the cheese puff fingers.
I see.
Oh.
Isn't Kirkland a Walmart brand?
Costco.
A Costco.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kirkland. Yeah, we don't have many Costco's around.
And he says, I have talked with lots of campgrounds this year, and they are definitely seeing Harvest Host as more of a friend than a competitor. Having camper cards is great. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And some of the best overnight stays we have had in our many years on the road have all been Harvest Host. There's no question. No question. And Ryan says we did 23 states in 31 days.
Wow.
Wow, he's right. You're supposed to stop and smell the roses, Ryan. You're supposed to stop and pet the alpaca. And
where's Ryan from?
I don't know.
I think you might have said greetings from somewhere earlier.
He may have. John, are you writing a letter? He already had it. We had advance notice, Don. So all of our fans,
letter,
already written them probably.
Well,
hey, Bob and John, one question I had for you before we end, because I feel like you guys have great insights on this, being in the industry and the dealership world. How is this year feeling now compared to last year? Right? Are people optimistic? Is travel up? Are sales down? Like, how's it feeling?
Well, I would say, I just I did an interview with an analyst the other day, and I'm saying it's about even with last year. We hope that because the consumer shows in many cases were very good. They certainly were here in Boston, and we thought that would be an on-ramp to increasing some sales, but we're finding it's running up the same as last year. And we're coming into July and August, so that's not going to create a lot. But the traveling end of it, the campgrounds are doing fine, and people are out there making their reservations and going. So it's apples and oranges. We'd like to sell more RVs and like to see the dealers do more of that. But it'll come around. I think it'll pick up a little bit towards the end. But I think we're going to have to wait till next year to really start seeing some progress in that. And the other way that we tell is the sales, and the sales are. The discounts are very steep. So I've said it many times, there probably hasn't been a better time in the last, I would say certainly 5 years, going back to COVID, to buy an RV. You can go to consumer shows and see them at 40 and sometimes 50% off. So the dealers have to get rid of their inventory, and they're willing to take a lot less margin. So for the people who are ready to buy and have the resources, this is a great time to buy. No question. Yeah. Red Apple Farm was the first place we went with my first grandchild. It was awesome. Yeah, that's another great one. Dwayne says, I stayed at the Cog Railway last fall. Great location. And Don, our two favorites have been Hainan and what is it? Hainan Family Vineyards and Lake Ann Winery, which were both excellent. We are trying to get 3 Ps in a vine brewery here in Athens to join. Where are those other two that you mentioned, Don? Charlie likes Coyote Moon Winery. Michael DePietro. Hi, Bob. Michael, the show is almost over.
And I'm in his house.
You're in his house, and he says hello to Bob. Well, he can go in the other room and say hello to you. You don't need to do that. Michael, how's that interview at Longwood coming along? Maria, we stayed very nice. Stayed at a very nice. Oops, where are you going? Get over there.
Joel, we only have a few minutes left. Want you anything else that you want to
recap the chief retirement? Recap the chief retirement officer.
Yeah, so the chief retirement officer is an active job posting now. Someone asked, where do you go to actually apply? I pasted the link, Bob, in the private chat. If you want to post that over to public chat, basically, there's a link on our website, and it's on.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so it's But basically, applications are open, and give us your best resignation letter. Tell us why you like the Harvest Host RV. It comes fully ready to go. We give you money for gas, food, all the Harvest Host locations. Like, hit the road and have some fun with it, right?
You do need your own truck, so that we got to be.
You need a truck, but we're giving away the RV, and so we haven't really mentioned that. I mean, it's a little vague in the listing, but if we find the right person, I'm going to personally just give them the RV. And this is a $90,000 RV, so slightly used, so give it a discount, $80,000 RV. But I checked with my tax advisor, and I can actually personally give it away because I personally own it. And there's no tax implications. So the recipient doesn't have to pay taxes on it. Unlike winning a car on Price is Right, where you then have a tax bill.
You're pretty slick there, Joel. You saved the best for last.
That's right.
By the way, I'm going to give you $90,000 RV.
That's right.
And solitude at that.
Well, that's where Willie Miller may want to jump in here and say, I'm going to give you a Columbus to give away. If you get second place.
Columbus or a River Ranch. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, Joel, that you're giving them that unit. It's not just to use for a year or two.
That's the idea, right? I basically, I don't need the unit anymore. I have the Brinkley. And I figured instead of selling it or instead of doing a trade-in, why not give it away to someone, that's worthy of it. So it's nice because there's no tax implication for the recipient. That was my concern, is someone have to pay a bunch of taxes on the value, but I can actually give it you're allowed to give a certain amount of money away a year without taxes. And so between my wife and me, we can cover the value of the unit, which is great.
Cool.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
Let me see if this one here.
Where are your travels taking you, Joel, this summer?
Yeah, so we just got back from a 6-week trip. We went from Colorado to Virginia, and on the way kind of went through Kansas, through Kentucky, Tennessee. On the way back, I did a lot more Tennessee, so that was really fun. We're looking at an August trip, and actually, so we want to take a few weeks in August. We don't know where we're going yet. We're thinking maybe Wisconsin, go to Door County, which I've never done. Maybe go to the other way, go to Zion. There's a new Jellystone that just opened in Zion that looks really awesome for families. So we're not sure if anyone has ideas. We're looking for something that is not too many days of travel away from us in Colorado, and then we want to post up and then basically like settle. So we're figuring that out.
Have you been to Sedona and Red Rocks out in?
Yeah, beautiful. And that's it. And the only concern I'd have in August is like, is it going to be scorching hot?
The weather. Yeah. What about Mackinac Island?
Yeah, I've been. So in Michigan was another place. I thought it'd be fun to go up to Michigan because we haven't spent much time in Michigan. I have been to Mackinac, awesome. But I've never been to the UP. So it's a bit of a drive to get there from Vail. But it turns out Michigan's a big state. It goes way, way, way up there.
Way up.
Yeah. Well, we are just about. We could probably make it a 2-hour show next time, Joel. But I want to thank you for coming on short notice. But we saw that announcement and said, you know what, this would make one hell of a show. And I'm gonna predict that this might break records. Chris Doherty was on a couple of weeks ago and got over 15,000 views. So I'm going to go on the limb and say this one will top 20,000. What do you say to Petro?
It was a fun show. Please let me know when you want me to pick up the rig. I can be there in 21.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's too funny.
Brian Sherman said, if you get Michigan, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is fantastic. So who said that about picking up the
Sandy? She can be there in 21.5 hours. Dante says he can start tomorrow.
There you go, Dante. Be aggressive, Dante. There you go.
Okay, guys. Joel, thank you so much.
Awesome. Gentlemen, this is always a highlight. I appreciate you having me on. 6 years of supporting me, and I love what you're doing for the industry. So thank you.
And we thank you as well. And we thank our audience, Joel. And you know what? We have a very loyal audience every Wednesday night. Now, last week we're a little low because Tom Brady was being inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. But they came back for you. And we appreciate our audience, and we appreciate our guests. And this is RVing in New England, brought to you by
Hey, it's Joe from 1019 POR and John, Joe, and Courtney. We're back for another exciting season of Seacoast RV TV. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter W. As in Winnebago. Did you know that Seacoast RV is once again the award winner of the Flying W Award, which recognizes Winnebago dealer locations that deliver the highest service excellence and superior customer satisfaction? Don't mean to brag, but we're kind of a big deal. Speaking of Winnebagos, how about the Winnebago Access? Come on inside and take a look around. Modern and spacious interior, easier camp setup with all the deluxe features and an outstanding value? You get it all with the Winnebago Access. You know, with so many different models to choose from, though, it can get so scary and confusing. I feel like I need some help.
Hi, I'm Amanda. Welcome to Seacoast RV. How can I help you today?
Selection, service center, and a huge parts and accessory department. No wonder Seacoast RV is once again Winnebago's Flying W Award winner, their highest honor. Find the perfect RV or towable for you and your family with one stop, Seacoast RV. Easy to find, Route 1 in Saco.
Seacoast RV.
I'm Jackson.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.